Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be continuing with 2 Kings chapter 8. Then spake Elisha unto the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, Arise, and go thou and thine household, and sojourn wheresoever thou canst sojourn. For the Lord hath called for a famine, and it shall also come upon the land 7 years. And the woman arose and did after the saying of the man of God, and she went with her household, and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. And it came to pass at the 7 years' end, that the woman returned out of the land of the Philistines, and she went forth to cry unto the king for her house and for her land. And the king talked with Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, saying, Tell me, I pray thee, all the great things that Elisha had done. And it came to pass, as he was telling the king how he had restored a dead body to life, that, behold, the woman whose son he had restored to life cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, My lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son whom Elisha restored to life. And when the king asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed unto her certain officers, saying, Restore all that was hers, and all the fruits of the field, since the day that she left the land, even until now. And Elisha came to Damascus, and Benhadad the king of Syria was sick. And it was told him, saying, The man of God is come hither. And the king said unto Hazael, Take a present in thine hand, and go and meet the man of God, and inquire of the Lord by him, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? So Hazael went to meet him, and took a present with him, even of every good thing of Damascus, 40 camels' burden, and came and stood before him, and said, Thy son Benhadad, king of Syria, hath sent me to thee, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? And Elisha said unto him, Go, say unto him, Thou mayest certainly recover. Howbeit the Lord hath shewed me that he shall surely die. And Hazael said, Why weepeth my lord? And he answered, Because I know the evil that thou wilt do unto the children of Israel. Their strongholds wilt thou set on fire, and their young men wilt thou slay with the sword, and wilt dash their children, and rip up their women with child. And Hazael said, But what is thy servant a dog, that he should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, The Lord hath shewed me that thou shalt be king over Syria. So he departed from Elisha, and came to his master, and said to him, What said Elisha to thee? And he answered, He told me that thou shouldest surely recover. And it came to pass on the morrow, that he took a thick cloth, and dipped it in water, and spread it on his face, so that he died, and Hazael reigned in his stead. And in the 5th year of Joram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being then king of Judah, Jehoram the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. 32 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab, for the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Yet the Lord would not destroy Judah for David his servant's sake, as he promised him to give him always a light and to his children. In his days Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah, and made a king over themselves. So Joram went over to Zair, and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night, and smote the Edomites which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Joram slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Ahaziah his son reigned in his stead. In the 12th year of Joram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Ahaziah the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, began to reign. 22 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign. And he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, as did the house of Ahab, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. And he went with Joram the son of Ahab to the war against Hazael king of Syria in Ramoth Gilead, and the Syrians wounded Joram. And King Joram went back to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramah, when he fought against Hazael king of Syria. And Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram king of Judah, went down to see Joram the son of Ahab in Jezreel, because he was sick. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I'll look up a summary for this chapter. Once more, there are pieces I got, like one of the men being like Ahab. That's not good, right? There are pieces I get, but I still think that this idea of reading the chapter after, it only reinforces my knowledge, which is super nice. Right, yeah, the first part was awesome. Remember when Elisha tells the woman whose son he saved, who raised from the dead, that there's going to be a famine for 7 years? Yeah, exactly. And then he tells, he goes to Damascus to visit the Syrian king Ben-Hadad, and tells Hazael, the king's servant, that Hazael will become king. And Elisha's sad because Hazael will bring suffering to Israel. And Hazael murders Ben-Hadad the next day, suffocating him with a wet cloth and taking the throne. And of course there's a bad... There's also difficulty for the line of Judah, so that difficulty is there. So it's not great. So with the remaining time in today's video, let me first end the Bible reading video there for today and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Dive video. Since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I worked my software engineering job, and I will be creating 7 days worth of Daily Dive videos. So I wanted to discuss I'll go ahead and discuss a bit about the chapter in terms of excuse me, this is what I want to say. Not about the Bible, but just about life. I was listening to Pope Leo speak. He's the Pope who has succeeded Pope Francis, the late Pope Francis, and Pope Leo spoke at a recent Angelus about this idea of Jesus being the God who wanted to be among his people and be like part of their the word he used was like complex human dynamics or complex human relationships. And I truly thought that was wonderful, that Jesus wanted to do that. And what's so incredible about it is like this idea that, think of Adonai. I thought about this, like this idea that Jesus is a man of the people. Spirit, I am not a man of the people in the sense that I'm not the Christ. You know, I'm not the Christ. I'm not trying to be the Christ. I'm trying to be the Spirit of Christ and the Spirit of Jehovah. That's who I am. That's the way I am. And I think about Adonai. There's so many passages of Adonai in the Bible. So neither Adonai or I have a human nature, right? Yet Adonai, he says in the Bible, he says his name is jealous and he is a jealous God. And this idea that I'm not like that. And I thought that was wonderful because it was like, just to like compare and contrast the wonderful natures of the Trinity is such a beautiful thing, because for me, if you ask me who I am, I'm the servant of God. I'm the Spirit of Christ. I'm the Spirit of Jehovah. I will manifest everything I have for God. And of course, I have my own agency and free will. I'm not like being callous or trying to sound like something, like fit some role or something. What I'm saying is that I truly feel like my purpose comes from serving them. And I don't have a lot of these, like the way that Jesus, like, he wants to be part of their complex human relationships, and I don't. I'm happy with the legacy I have. That's good for me. And then Jehovah, he's a jealous God. I don't know if the word I would pick for me is jealous. I'm like focused. I'm like just churning away at my own life every day. And it has nothing to do to contrast with Adonai not being focused. Yeah, exactly. Or Jesus not being able to churn away. Of course, they can do that, right? Yeah. It's like, that's like just who I am, Spirit. And I'm happy with it. And it's like, I look at it like, I've accepted that. So, I just wanted to say that because it's like, I am not like Jesus. And in some way, I also thought about that, like, I'm not like Jehovah. I'm Spirit. So I cherish that. So with that, I will go ahead and end the video there for today. I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.